with politicians. I know how to get politicians. That's what I've done. You know, so much of my business has been political, where I had to get approvals for massive developments like on the west side of Manhattan, the largest job dollar-wise ever built in Manhattan.
Yeah.
So many of my jobs and so many of my deals have been, and not only in this country, all over the world. I deal with leaders all over the world. So I think I'll be very good with politicians.
By the way,
I've done politicians for a living.
I want to underline this point, and this is an important point to make. I know you have a follow-up, Mika. So, Donald, you got into the construction business, what, in 73?
Yeah, about 77, yes.
77. Who was the mayor in 77?
Beam.
So it was Beam, and then who was the next mayor you dealt with?
Was it Dinkins?
Dinkins.
Dinkins was next.
I even had a piece of Lindsay, if you can believe it. It's a long time.
And you had Lindsay. Then you dealt with Giuliani.
Right.
Then you dealt with Bloomberg.
Right.
And Koch was in there. You dealt with Koch.
I dealt with Koch on the Woolman skating rink and many other things.
Woolman skating rink, and then you dealt with and then you dealt with Bill de Blasio.
Right.
So you have everybody from Lindsay you've dealt with, and I'm just underlining this point because we're like, Donald doesn't know politics, blah blah blah, and I'm not carrying your water here. I'm just surprised this hasn't been reported. You've become a billionaire many times over in one of the toughest cities to deal with politicians. The corruption, the mob, every law, every regulation of every stripe, taxes. People don't like working in this city. You worked with everybody from Lindsay to Beam to Koch to Dinkins to Giuliani to Bloomberg to de Blasio, and you figured out how to work with all of them and get richer in every administration.
Well, you know, it's nice that you say that, Joe, but very true. I got along with Lindsay. I got along with Beam.
Nice.
I got along great with David Dinkins. He was a very nice man. You know, I got my big job approved with David Dinkins. Now, who would think, you know, the big one on the west side, which is almost 6,000 units along the Hudson River. And everyone said, you'll never get that approved. You'll never be able to do it. I had tens of thousands of people protesting when I proposed the job because I was going to block everybody's views because it's a massive job. And everybody said, you'll never get it approved. In fact, I got the land inexpensively because they said it was impossible to get it zoned. I got it zoned. Not only got it zoned for much more than anyone thought possible.
And Mike Barnicle, this is my point. He didn't get this stuff done in Omaha. He got it done here. Again, I'm not carrying this water. It's just the press hasn't reported on this. And this is the toughest place. And I'm surprised that here we are 6 months into this campaign and nobody's written this story.
So Donald, instinctively, and you are a person of instinct, a candidate of instinct, what is your instinct about who right now on the Democratic side of the aisle, who would you be able to deal with to cut a deal, any kind of a deal? What's your instinct on that?
Well, I think that I'm going to be able to get along with Pelosi. I think I'm going to be able to. I've always had a good relationship with Nancy Pelosi. I've never had a problem. Reid's going to be gone. I always had a decent relationship with Reid, although lately, obviously, I haven't been dealing with him, so he'll actually use my name as the ultimate, as the ultimate of the billionaires in terms of, people you don't want. But I always had a great relationship with Harry Reid. And frankly, if I weren't running for office, I'd be able to deal with her. I'd be able to deal with Reid. I'd be able to deal with anybody. But I think I'd be able to get along very well with Nancy Pelosi and just about everybody. Hey, look, I think I'll be able to get along well with Schumer, Chuck Schumer. I was always very good with Schumer. I was close to Schumer in many ways. And, it's important that you get along. It's wonderful to say you're a maverick and you're going to stand up and you're going to close up the country and all of the things. But you got to get somebody to go along with you. You have a lot of people. We have a system. The founders created a system that actually is a very good system. It does work. But it can't work if you can get nobody to go along with you, and that's the problem that you have with Ted Cruz. He's a guy that nobody likes and nobody trusts, and he is a nasty guy. He says things that are very nasty. So I have to be nastier than him, and it's just one of those things.